Tonight, when the sun goes down, you will flip a switch. Light will flood the room. You will not think twice about it. But for almost all of human history, that switch did not exist. When the sun set, the world went dark. And what your ancestors did in that darkness was nothing like what you imagine. You picture them collapsing the moment night fell, exhausted, unconscious until dawn. That is not what the evidence shows. Historian A. Roger E. Kirch spent over a decade combing through diaries, court records, and medical texts from before artificial light. He found something strange. People across pre-industrial Europe did not sleep in one long block. They slept in two. They called it first sleep and second sleep. You would go to bed a few hours after dark. You would sleep for 3 or 4 hours. Then, in the dead of night, you would wake up. Not from fear, not from noise. Your body simply woke itself. This waking hour was not wasted. People prayed. They talked with a partner in the dark. Some visited neighbors. Others just lay quietly, thinking. Then, after an hour or two, they drifted into second sleep until morning. Why would a body do this? Why split rest into two pieces? Sleep researcher Jerome Siegel wanted to know if this pattern was cultural or biological. So he studied 3 groups still living without electric light. The Hadza of Tanzania, the San of Namibia, the Semaine of Bolivia. None of them showed segmented sleep like Kirch's Europeans. They slept in one continuous stretch. But something else stood out. They almost never napped. They went to bed hours after sunset, and they woke naturally before sunrise. Their bodies were locked to something ancient, not a clock, temperature. Siegel found that sleep onset tracked falling temperature, not darkness itself. Your ancestors were not just reacting to light, their whole body was reading the night. So which one is true? Segmented sleep or one long stretch? Both, depending on the pressures around you. Anthropologist Carol Worthman studied sleep across dozens of traditional societies and found enormous variation. Sleep was never private. It happened in shared spaces, with fires burning, with someone always half listening for danger. Segmented waking may have been a feature, not a flaw. A built-in watch shift when a small group of humans without walls or locks could not afford to be unconscious for 8 hours straight. Think about that. Every one of your nights, for 200,000 years, was shared, watched, interrupted on purpose. Then something happened that erased all of it in barely 100 years. Artificial light, gas lamps, then electric bulbs, pushed bedtime later and later. The quiet waking hour between first and second sleep had nowhere left to fit. It vanished. Kirch found the last clear written references to it fading out by the early 20th century, right alongside the spread of electric lighting into ordinary homes. You did not choose to lose that hour. It was engineered out of you by a light bulb. And this is where it gets uncomfortable. If you wake at 3 in the morning tonight and your mind starts turning and you cannot fall back asleep, you probably reach for your phone and call it insomnia, a disorder, something wrong with you. But maybe it is not a malfunction. Maybe it is a memory. Your body may still be reaching for a shape of night that no longer exists. A night with 2 sleeps, a fire, and other people breathing nearby in the dark. So tonight, when the sun goes down, you will flip a switch. But somewhere underneath all that light, a much older clock is still quietly waiting for the dark it was built for.